Hey, this is Notser, and we are in the Tier 9 French cruiser, Saint-Louis. He has 40,900 health, a top speed of 33 knots, 9 203mm guns, 6 torpedoes, a surface detect of 12.8 kilometers, and 85 AA defense rating. For my modules, reduced crit chance on main armament, improved aiming accuracy, improved rate of fire, reduced the chance of flood and fire, faster rudder shift, steering mod 3. For my commander, priority target, expert marksman, drill and rush, basic firing training, demolition expert, advanced firing training, and concealment. We're on the map Islands of Ice, and it's the Tier 9. So it's 203mm guns, pretty standard fare. Its rate of fire is right around where I would expect. It's got a velocity that's right in the middle. It's better than some, worse than some. I think it's better than 2 cruiser fleets and worse than 2 cruiser fleets, and just a push. So it's, very average. Okay, guns are very average. All right. Damage output, pretty average. Yeah. It's got a torpedo system that is barely there. 3 torpedoes per side. It's better than the Americans, but that's all it's better than. The Brits, the Germans, the Soviets, the Japanese all have better systems. So surely the guns are going to be right up there with the Americans. It's going to be able to do some pretty good output. It doesn't really feel like it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It doesn't really feel like it. It feels like it can pick on things that any other cruiser can pick on, but it really gets punished if it's ever spotted without any protection. Now, conveniently, in this particular game, I had the opportunity to get into someone else's smoke. So sorry, my friend, I should be able to do a little bit of damage. And it seems like we can do a little bit of damage. The 203s feel fine. I mean, they feel better than 240s. And I just want to apologize to that guy, obviously. But, and yes, I can't spell. But yeah, it just, I don't know what it is. I really, oh, by the way, Wargaming, please don't swap speed boost and the heal. They look too similar. They do that at tiers 9 and 10. I'm hoping they fix that along with other things, but don't force people to remember that. That's a really weird thing to remember, that certain tiers have different priority on heal versus boost orientation. But beside that, 33 knots is just not fast enough. These have no armor. They have very little torpedo system. They can't use radar. All they have is speed boost. And speed boost basically puts them at the same speed as other cruiser lines. So we really need to address exactly what they are. Are they supposed to be fast? If they're fast, make them fast. If they're slow, oh God, give them armor, please. But we can't be here. Here is really bad. So I'm going to try using my torpedoes, the 9-kilometer range. It is nice that it's 9 kilometers, but look, that's my whole allotment of torpedoes on this side. If they hit, it's a miracle. And just as I said previously, whenever you have 2 launchers, you can really set up a target, force them to do an angle or a maneuver that they're not comfortable with, and then pounce on them with the torpedoes, right? You can't do that with 1 launcher. You can't do that. And I can't go single launching. You might, oh, what about single launching like the Brits? No. That is a British trait. I can't do that. So I'm just going to keep giving ground, try and fire on targets that have no interest firing on me whatsoever, because if they do, I've got to maneuver extremely effectively in order to dodge out of the way. The ship itself looks good. This is the premium camo. The premium camo existed on the tier 7. It's that Atlantic gray, they like to call it. And this enemy Bismarck is aggressively pushing forward. I'm actually very envious of him because I wish I was in the Bismarck right now. Now we're just going to try and see how much damage we do. So yeah, it's just one of those things where you fire at range and you dodge because the chance that a shell would hit you scares the crap out of you. You feel very vulnerable. Yeah, the Bismarck. Get over here. Yeah, well, the torpedoes took care of you, my friend. But yeah, we did okay. Seven fires. I wouldn't have a problem with the shells if the fire chance, maybe the HE shell itself is weak, but the chance to light the target on fire is actually strong. Maybe it has a higher modifier or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to read into it, Wargaming. What I see is a very mediocre line. But, the potential's there. They could potentially make it into a fast cruiser line, the fastest in the fleet, or the fastest in the in the port, or whatever the factions, among the factions, and yeah, you can be good at it. Enemy Iowa is showing a perfect broadside. We're going to send our torpedoes. They have a pretty fair rearm. Of course, it's only one set. I would hope it has a fair rearm. And we're just going to go at it. See how well a 8-kilometer range shot is. If I was them, I would shoot me. It was just an easy shot. 10,000. That was good. That was very good. And I don't know. I've seen stats, distance, influences, all this stuff. I don't know if the shells are completely acceptable whenever you're close to the target, because I really don't want to be close to the target. It's too dangerous to be close to the target. And I can definitely tell whenever I start moving back, different parts of the ship absorb damage. It just really feels, Now we're able to get the last shot there, which was convenient, but it's sort of weird. It's sort of like the shells themselves are effective when you're close. I mean, they play correctly. They feel like they do good damage. But when you're forced to play far away because you have such a weak armor layout, you really don't have a chance. And I don't really have the speed to move in and out. So yeah, I'm guessing that I just have to hope that I have teammates for the enemy to shoot, and that the enemy has no interest in firing on a cruiser that's within 8 kilometers of them. That doesn't really sound like an option. That sounds like a really bad strategy. That sounds like I'm going to fail miserably. So the team is doing all right. I'm going to try and move forward, I think. Hopefully I'll be able to get into B point. And there is Des Moines. The Des Moines is sort of manipulating the island. He's always going to be bow on. He's backing up, doing that weird turn thing, not really doing anything. And hoping that his teammates can actually play the game. That's basically what this Des Moines is doing. Of course, he's going to fire on me, so I'm going to angle away. I'm going to try and return fire. Of course, his rate of fire is twice as fast as mine. But that's fair. He's a tier 10. I'm a tier 9. Whatever, right? Whatever. So yeah, we've gotta see what happens. And actually, I think I used the range module in this game. 21 is not the base range. I'm sorry if I said, what did I say? I said I had the range mod. Yeah. I said I had the rate of fire mod. I think I do have range mod. But, yeah. We gotta obviously torpedo beat. The ship can do this, by the way. It's a nimble ship. There's good parts about it. I like the gun layout. I like the profile itself. It feels very flat. It's got a command tower that obviously is tall, but it's pretty shallow in its design. It just has a really obvious weak point, and it's not fast enough. The speed boost is an afterthought. The gun systems just don't allow you to shoot your way out of the problem. They just don't. It's mediocre, mediocre, mediocre. But maybe we can get some Des Moines damage. We'll see. No fire, of course. Ugh. Teammates are pushing into B. Des Moines' days are numbered. We'll try and rotate around it slowly, mind you. I really want the line to be I want a fast cruiser speed boost line to be cool. I want it to be really fun. And I'm just not seeing the fun here. I'm not seeing why you would dedicate your time towards the entire line. You know, if you looked at let's just look at previous lines, right? We've got the German destroyers, right? The German destroyers were ridiculous in the form that me and all the community contributors tested before they were released. Then they took away the ability to stealth fire and really quickly disengage. That's the better term you should use. Quick disengaging. And they gave it a Soviet bloom, which made the guns absolutely worthless because they're not good enough to fire consistently. You really want to be hidden in smoke, sending your torpedoes, holding your fire, that sort of thing. Now, some people have tried to make a full gun system of the Germans work, but it doesn't really feel like, oh, Soviet destroyer, obviously this is the way to go, right? It doesn't feel like that. It'll work, but will it work well? People complain, oh, the Germans, the torpedoes, low damage. They have a really high rearm. So that's okay. So the Germans had hydroacoustic, though. Hydroacoustic does impact a lot of engagements if you're aggressive with your destroyer. Now, you're risking the ship, of course, and it's dangerous. But that is a high-impact consumable that's worth taking the ship alone just for that. This is not. Before the German destroyers, you had the British cruisers. British cruisers, of course, have smoke, which is awesome. If they don't want to use smoke, they could use radar, which is awesome. They have a really potent heel. Really potent. I wish I had that heel on this French cruiser line. It would help a lot, but I don't. So, the British cruisers actually end up being pretty awesome. Pretty awesome indeed. Plus, they have the AP shell. You know, it's probably a push on AP versus having HE and AP and having a weaker AP shell. It doesn't really feel like it's taking away from it and giving back too much. It feels very, very fair. You've got the German battleships, the Soviet cruisers, the Soviet destroyers, the German cruisers, even the German cruisers. It's probably since the German cruisers that we got. And at the time, the German cruisers had a unique trait. They had hydroacoustic, extremely high hydroacoustic range. No one else could touch it. And their torpedoes could be launched across the entire side of the ship. Great torpedo arcs. Now, obviously, the torpedo arcs are great in the French cruisers, but they just don't have enough torpedoes for it to be like, oh, yes, this is great. So yeah, it's just a mediocre line right now. I'm hoping they improve it. This is, average, right? Very average. It's, again, that's the line. And there's really nothing I can do to improve it. I've tried every sort of concealment, range, rate of fire, rudder shift, all this stuff, and it's just like, I would rather have something else at Tier 9, some other Tier 9 cruiser. So yeah, that's where we stand. I'll still share each and every tier, but this is, they did a good job of keeping it unified the entire time. I hope this was interesting. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.